Hi, it's John. It's the 21st of September 2013 and I've been having a hedge cutting day, well, afternoon anyway, used up the energy. Now the main part of my hedge cutting has been this front hedge. I'm not quite sure what it's called. It's that, it's not privet, it's not box, it's this fairly small leaf thing. Normally cut it twice a year. And I planted autumn fruiting raspberries along the front. They haven't fruited this year very much. I didn't cut them right back because, well, it was such a bad year last year. And this hedge does grow massively on this side. It's more or less facing south. Our solar panels up there are 10 degrees towards the east, off of south, if that makes sense. So this hedge is more or less south, so it really gets a lot of growth on this side and on the top. And I thought the raspberries were like that, and they're doing too bad, but I should have thinned them out a bit, I think. And on the other side, the north side as it were, there's hardly any growth on this side. But there's quite a lot of cuttings because I pushed most of the cuttings from the top over there. This plant in the gateway is a Cotoneaster. It's one of the big ones. There's a lot of different sorts, and that's these red berries, and the thrushes really love these berries. Now on Portland there's an old quarry, and apparently it's full of Cotoneaster, and it's a nature reserve, but the nature reserve wardens don't like it, so they've work parties digging it up. Can't understand it because the bees love the flowers and the thrushes, the blackbirds love the berries, and they just say they don't like it because it's not deciduous, not a natural plant. I certainly wouldn't go spending my weekends digging these up. I think they're good. And I've got hedge all along the west boundary. That's all sort of toppled over to the other neighbour's side, so I can't do much of a job under there, but I tend to just leave all my hedge cuttings along the edge there because nothing grows much there. This apple tree's done well. It's a Discovery, and got one Discovery in the back as well, and that's not done quite so well. I didn't plant it last year, or perhaps the year before, and I did give it a pruning in the summer. Learned how to prune things, and this is a sort of St John's wort type plant which has suddenly come into flower, which is nice. I cut it back drastically before I planted that apple tree, but it seems to have sort of recovered into a different shape now. These shrubs grow quite easily, can't think of the name of them just offhand. And the ice plant, didn't think that was going to flower this year. But, you know, because we've had such a short summer. It's been a nice summer, but quite short. And it's always late. Oh, there's a bee on there. Am I right? Yeah, I'm in the right thing. Fuzzy bee. Another bee there, honeybee, and a bumblebee. And then there's the hardy geranium, and I can't remember what the name of these orange things are, but it was on Gardener's World. These yellow, these white berries, I mean, it's not particularly pretty plant, but it sort of reminds you of this time of year. Got this sort of small leaved Cotoneaster on the front of the house, and I'll give that a trim as well because it stops the light getting in the windows if it grows too big. Got that yellow crab apple for Helen for the Christmas present, and that was the Christmas before last, and when it arrived I wasn't able to give it because she was in hospital. So that always reminds me of that time. Bit of a sad time. But it's doing well now. It's even straightened up. I just bunged it in the ground quick at the time. We've got this little brood of 5 chicks, and there's 4 black ones, and the partridge sort of coloured one. Well, the partridge coloured one, he's got something wrong with him. We had a look at him, and he's got, I don't know whether this is normal for a chick, but he's got a cleft palate. So I don't know whether that's something to do with his illness. Like a gap down the middle of his, the top of the roof of his mouth. And he keeps making little gesticulations and squeaks. I don't know what he's going to do. There's a red apple there, just getting on that apple juice. And the chicks want to eat it. They love chasing the flies that get on the apple juice. I don't know whether they eat wasps. Oh, there's a red apple just flown across. The russet apple's done well. It's something like Egmont, something like that. First year that it's really done well. There's a good cottage garden plant. Hanging on. Nice pinky colour. I've also had a go at this hedge. There's a withy willow at the top. Buddleia there, which I've really hacked about, but it seems to have benefited from it. It's quite nice at the moment. And the privet, then there's a flowering cherry over next door, and a horse chestnut over next door, a yew tree there, which I've had a go at cutting, and there's a holly on our side, and we've also got the hawthorn, which I haven't cut too much because it's got some berries on there, but I like to see sort of May blossom, and on the hedgerows where hawthorn gets cut, it never flowers. And then there's a sort of almond tree here, which has planted itself, almond or peach tree, and it always gets that like a pest on it, and all the leaves curl up. It's not looking too bad at the moment. Look into that, see what we can do about that. They're putting on a good show. We've got some that are just starting to grow. I thought I might bring some in the house to use as a house plant in the winter. Fly plant. Now the meaner you are with these, and the later you cut them back, the later you'll get the flowers. Now these well, there's plenty of buds on here, so it'd be quite a nice autumn show. Okay, I think that's it for me. Right, bye for now.